Hello, my lovelies. Elsie here to do your sneak peek for this week. How the heck are you? I hope you're well. Thanks so much for clicking here. Hope Monday was good for you. Hope you didn't let it push you around or push you down. I am here to do a reading to see what might be coming up for the next 7 days. Now, please keep in mind that when I do these readings, that when you find them today, tomorrow, or next year, it could resonate from that day. So this is for the next 7 days. Whenever you find it, that means that you could go back in the archives for 2025 to the sneak peeks, and some of that stuff that happened back there might be happening for you now. All right, so I got 12 cards, 12 decks of cards to my left. I'm going to read from each of them, a little bit from each of them for a couple of minutes for each of the Zodiac signs, and I'm glad you're here. So if you're brand new, welcome. I do this reading once a week, and usually comes out on a Monday or a Tuesday-ish. Sometimes on a Wednesday. It'll be a little bit more on a schedule as we get into the colder months, but as we're in the warmer months, I'm sort of taking liberties with that. And so, yes, I'm going to put everything in the description below. I'm going to mark out all the times for you in the description below, so you can just scroll this video to find out whatever it is that you need for the energies that you're looking for. I'm just going to ask you to please stop watching tarot just for your sun sign. You have no idea what's going on if you're watching just for your personality. Natal charts are free. There's no reason why you shouldn't have one, even if you don't have your exact time of birth. You can just use AM or PM if you know if you were born in the day or the evening. And you can get yourself a loosey-goosey rising sign as well. So I'm going to read from these cards, and we are going to find out what's going on for the next 7 days. But the last thing I have to tell you is that I do have private reads open. So if you're interested in all of that, please look at the pinned comment. Under every video that I upload, there is a pinned comment. And that pinned comment is always the first one at the top of all of the comments, right under the video. And in that comment, you'll see information about how to get extendeds, but also private read information, which means I'm doing pre-recorded private reads if you're interested in that. I'm also doing live private reads. I do have a call this evening, which I'm really excited about. So when you do the live private reads, y'all, you get to stuff as many questions as you can into the time frame that you design, and you get to pick as much time as you want. You will simply get a discount just for arriving and making an appointment ahead of time, and anywhere between 5 and 75% off the live calls if you want to get online with me. We've been having so much fun doing that. All right, I think that's all I need to tell you. Let's start with Aries. Let's find out what's going on with Aries. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Little birdie told me Neptune's in your sign. I think this could be a little bit of, the Beatles. Say you want a revolution. Viva la revolution. When Neptune's in Aries. I think it's Neptune. You can correct me if you want, but I think it is. Okay. Let's find out what's going on for you, my fire family. I've got lots of Aries in my chart. I don't know if you can tell. Let's find out what's going on for you, Aries. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter for the next 7 days. Tell me about Aries, please. Ooh, Aries, something is hiding under the surface this week for you. Tell me how this comes about. We've got the Queen of Cups, so maybe you're hiding something or someone else is, but the Queen of Cups here is emotional energy here. We've got the 10 of Pentacles. And we've got the Page of Cups. You know what? Something that you're really going to love is hiding under the surface, Aries, and I think you're about to be surprised by it. Now, I'm just saying that because the Death card is here, the 10 of Pentacles is here, the 7 of Swords is here, and the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is good news, but it also can be a surprise or something you weren't expecting. And the fact that the 7 of Swords is here and something's hiding under the surface that you don't know about this week, it feels like whatever it is, you're going to love it because the 10 of Pentacles is here. So look, if you're waiting for someone to get back to you about a job, or you're waiting for someone to say, yes, that was the last payment, you don't owe us anything else, or possibly promotion. For some of you, it feels like it's going to be worth something, I'm going to say. So it could be, look, you get a clean bill of health from the doctor. It could be that. 10 of Pentacles, look, you're good to go if you want to go on that trip. It feels like something you're really going to love that's going to make you emotionally excited because the Queen of Cups and the Page of Cups are here. We've got the Death card. It's going to change something. There's a transformation going on here, and whatever's about to pop out here at you, I think is something that you possibly have been waiting on thinking about, hoping for, planning. We've got the King of Swords and the Four of Pentacles, which tells me that you've not been telling anybody that you've been really diligent or sharp with something. It feels like you've been really diligent, holding back, not really telling anyone. Maybe you already know about it or are hoping for it, and you don't want to tell anybody until you know what's going on. Tell me what's under the surface here. Tell me about the Seven of Swords for Aries. We've got the Justice card. I like it. The Two of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles is in the reverse. For some of you, it does feel like it has something to do with time, energy, money, or effort. So somebody who didn't put in a lot of effort is now coming out and saying, look, can we try something new? Can we try something again? You're getting the good news about whatever felt like it was so much effort. It's about to feel effortless. But listen, I think that what it's going to do is put you in a new part of your life that becomes really busy, but in the best sort of way, because the Justice card is here. So when the Justice card is here, something's being restored, or somebody is making something right for you again. But it's going to put you on a track. It's going to put you on a fast track to something. And it feels like the King of Pentacles being in the reverse tells me that you might be recovering something, recovering money, or recovering health, because the Ten of Pentacles is here, and it's sort of an exciting event is what it feels like. Something's coming to the surface. For some of you, it could be a love situation because the Queen of Cups is here. Somebody might be surprising you with their feelings and letting you know that they think that you are the long-term person, or that they want to be with you for the long term, or try something very solid and grounded and slow. And can we work on this together into the future here? We've got the Five of Cups, we've got the Seven of Wands, and we've got the Six of Cups. This feels like old programming, Aries. It feels like the Five of Cups tells me that you're already in this energy of it's never going to happen. It's never going to be mine. I'm never going to get the call. I'm never going to get the job. Like, it feels like you've already resigned yourself to the fact that don't get too excited, because nothing is on solid ground yet, right? It's all in the head. It's all something that's going on in the mind. So the Seven of Wands tells me that your defenses are up, and that the Five of Cups is, I might as well stop celebrating because this is never going to happen. But I think this is old programming, because the Six of Cups is here. It feels like you're used to not winning, or you're used to not getting what you want, or you're used to things like this. Like, this seems like a really sweet, happy, emotionally happy thing, and it almost feels like you're scared to feel happy about it or excited about it, because based on what you've got in your memory bank, it feels like you get excited about something and then you end up feeling sad that it didn't work out. I think that this is different. I think it's different this time. Yep, there it is. The Hierophant. This time it's built on solid ground. This time it's structured. This time you're not going to let go of it. This time it's not going to let go of you. The Hierophant never lets anything go. That's Taurus energy. But it feels like to me that you probably already are feeling in the higher self that this is actually going to go right. But I think you're just too scared to lean in, is what it feels like. You're too scared to lean in. Tell me what the outcome is for Aries, please. We've got the Page of Wands, we've got the Eight of Swords, and we've got the Five of Wands. So that's what it is. You're scared to lean in. I think that the Eight of Swords is telling me that you're sort of up in your head, overthinking the whole situation and fighting happiness. It's like, I don't want to hope for it, because if it doesn't work out, it's going to devastate me. I feel like the Page of Wands is here waiting to go on the next path, waiting to celebrate with a little bit of excitement. That little bit of excitement you have in your belly, Aries, is telling me to tell you that it's gonna work out this time. It's gonna figure itself out this time, and it's gonna work out. For some of you, it could be love. For some of you, it could be money, job. Something is going right with your finances. Maybe you were feeling in lack, or feeling like things weren't working out for you. But I feel like if you're ready for things to start moving really quickly, that something is about to be restored for you. I think your faith is about to be restored in some respect here. Tell me what's around the corner for Aries. We've got the Lovers, we've got the Devil, and we've got the Page of Pentacles. Look, if this is a romantic thing for you, it feels like you're about to engage in a long-term relationship with somebody who cannot keep their hands off you. Somebody who is a gift giver, someone whose love language is trinkets or gifts, physical touch, I would say, with the Devil and the Lovers, but also somebody who has gift giving as their love language. It feels like there's going to be something going on here that is beyond what you could have imagined. And as, you know, the duality of Gemini, which is the Lovers, as bad as you thought it might go, flip it. I think it's going to go incredible for you here. The Eight of Wands, look, it's already here. It's already on the way. It's got its sights on you. Whatever's in the distance has already got its sights on you. Whether it's a job, a person, or better health, more money, whatever it is, something really good is coming. It's bringing everything back into balance in the moment of alchemy here. You're alchemizing whatever didn't work out for you in the past, and it's this moment of alchemy is coming here to show you how beautiful life really can be. So we've got Sagittarius energy, we've got Taurus energy, we've got Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. More Taurus. We've got Capricorn energy, Scorpio again. We've got Gemini, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Libra energy. There it is. All right. Well, that sounds like an exciting week for you. Let's find out what's going on for Taurus. Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Taurus. How are you, my bull gang? Thanks so much for being here. Let's find out what's going on for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter for the next 7 days, Taurus. Whenever you get this, today, tomorrow, next year, the next 7 days, Taurus. All right. Let's find out what's going on here. We start with the Two of Wands, Taurus. Taurus, it feels like you're at the precipice of something great. It feels like you've been steadily, carefully planning something, strategically even, analytically. It feels like you are moving toward something in a very slow, steady pace. And it's almost like you're in a pause at this moment. You're in a pause at this moment. Oh, look at this, the moon and the sun. Right? We just had the new moon in Virgo, which means that the moon and the sun were in the same sign. Very interesting. So we've got this energy here of the Two of Wands. It feels to me like you've been creeping up like you've been making a really steady plan to take action on something here. Tell me more. We've got the moon energy, and you're not telling anybody. I think that you don't really know the outcome, but I think you're willing to take action or willing to give this a shot. And we've got the Two of Swords. It feels like it's a decision. For some of you, it could be a decision about money, about your work, about a business you're building. It could be about confidence. It could be about reputation. It could be maybe you're making a big decision to overhaul the way you look or the way you feel. So it does feel like with this Two of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles is that you're really confident that that by taking action on the plan that you've been building steadily, that something here you're about to make a decision that's going to bring you a lot of balance. Now, I feel like you're doing it intuitively because the person on the Two of Swords, it has their eyes covered. I feel like you're feeling out the situation and doing it intuitively, but I want to say that I think you're about to take a leap of faith, or that you are feeling around in the dark, but you've got your intuition with you. So I feel like you feel safe to make some sort of a decision and take action on something that you've kind of been sitting on, is what it feels like here. The moon energy, things aren't as they seem. And I feel like there's something here that you're keeping under the surface that you're not telling anybody until at which time you're making the decision. I think you're feeling something out at this time, but you're ready to take action here. So you can leave sort of a space in your life where you were feeling a little bit stuck. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. As I said, stuck, I pulled the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. So Taurus, I feel like this is probably going to come to a place here where you will feel, just before the wheel turns, you will feel a shift. We have the Seven of Swords, and I'm going to say that you'll feel it in the gut first. You'll feel the intuition. It feels like you're ready to take a leap into something, but you're not exactly sure when to do it. And so I feel like you're intuitively feeling it out, listening to the universe. The Seven of Swords is here saying, I'm really unsure as to whether this is good for me or bad for me. But when Temperance shows up, it tells me that you'll be notified by the universe via your intuition or maybe a serendipitous moment. It feels like there's going to be a shift of energy. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is in the reverse. And when the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse, to me, it's not a reversal of fortune or bad fortune. To me, it's like it's not yet time. So this is not yet the time of alchemy. It's not yet the time of destiny, but it is coming. And so I think that's why you've got all this energy going on, because you're feeling it. You're feeling that it's almost time, and you're feeling it out intuitively instead of saying, you know what, I'm gonna wait until I see it and then I'll take the leap. I think that you're doing it intuitively here. So I feel like you're thinking about it. We've got 7 and 2, which is 9. You're worried about it just a little bit because you can't see the outcome. But I feel like you are waiting here with your plan, your steady, solid plan to take a leap whenever the time is right. And it's going to end up being right because the 10 of Cups is here. So I feel like whatever action you take to leave your comfort place at the 2 of Wands, which is the crossroads, it's like you've been sitting at the crossroads for a while, surveying the land, wanting to expand or go out into the universe here, but you're not really sure where to put all of your energy. So it feels like the 10 of Cups is showing up here with the Tower. Look, if you've been unsure about a connection, about a soulmate, friendship, whether it's a soulmate friend, somebody that you consider to be connected to your soul, and that can happen platonically or romantically, it's going to become clear this week. Exactly what's going on, it's going to become clear. Things are shifting for you into happiness and love. So whatever the happiness and love is for you, it doesn't necessarily always have to be a romantic relationship, but the Tower is here. There is going to be a major shift out of the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse and the 7 of Swords. When the moment of alchemy shows up, everything shifts into the 10 of Cups and the Lovers. So something that you've been wondering about, or wondering, when do I take the step off the edge? I'm not really sure. I feel like the Tower is going to shift you into that energy. So for some of you, it's shifting you into this energy of decision making, because this is a choice. You're choosing to make a decision, and you've been feeling it out for so long that the universe is, okay, well, feel this. I feel like that's when the Wheel of Fortune is probably going to turn to the upright here. Tell me about Taurus. We've got the Knight of Cups. I'm just going to say, for some of you, it is a romantic thing. So if you're the person who's used to doing the pursuing, I feel like you're waiting for Temperance and the Tower to wake you up. You're waiting for something significant to happen, change or shift, so you can make this decision to go for the 10 of Cups. If you are the person who's waiting for someone to pursue, I feel like that's what the Tower is. Somebody is going to reveal their feelings, tell you how they feel. Like, look at this, my favorite card in this deck. It's called the Marchetti Tarot. Look how beautiful. So it feels like there is something here that is going to be extremely happy, but the Tower first must always show up to take away any obstacles that are in the way, but also to do away with the illusion. And the illusion was, I can't have it. So I feel like if it is something romantic here, it is something heart space related. I'll tell you that. It's going to make your heart sing. It's going to make your heart happy. It doesn't have to be romantic. It could be money. The Queen of Pentacles is here. It could be a job. It could be something that really gives you a lot of stability and grounding. But it feels like this Tower is going to be your notification, something that you can't ignore. So it's not like you have to wait for a feather to drop from the sky. It's going to be like more like an earthquake. It's going to, and I'm not saying that there's going to be an earthquake where you are. That's not what I'm predicting. But I'm saying it's going to shake your core. It's going to shake the ground, and you'll know when it shows up. There's going to be no mistake. Tell me what's around the corner for Taurus. We've got the 9 of Wands. We've got the 7 of Pentacles. And we've got the Fool. So I feel like it's time, I was just saying, like leap of faith, right? It felt like really exciting, but you're at the edge looking down. You've already checked underneath that there's water and not rocks. You already know what you want to do, but you're waiting for something to go off. You're waiting for the right time. It's like right now you're in the pause and you're ready to put the hard work in with the 8 of Pentacles, like the really hard work. The Devil is here. But it feels like with the Fool here, you've put in so much work either on yourself, your abundance, your home, your stability, whatever it is that you've put a lot of work into, that you've been working tirelessly on something. It could be on you, could be on yourself, because the Seven of Pentacles is throwing the seeds of intention and then nurturing. You could have been building something, growing something, working really hard on something to the point of exhaustion, to the point of, barely being able to stand, I would say. But the Fool is telling me now it's time. It's time for you to take off the mask and take a leap, because there is something here that is showing up. It's around the corner, and it's going to come in like there's no way you're going to miss it. It's not just some little tiny serendipitous moment. It's big, and it's going to shake your foundation. Tell me about Taurus. It's around the corner. 10 of Swords. 8 of Wands. We've got Sagittarius energy here. Got the King of Wands. Someone is going to be inspired. Okay, if it's the masculine is inspired to come forward and move things forward finally. This person is out of this place of, I'm going to get hurt, I'm going to get hurt, I'm going to get hurt. If you are the person who is not the pursuer, I feel like you're a person who is inspiring someone to move closer to you, or that you are going to be inspired to move away from some sort of really great upset or painful cycle. The painful cycle is over and things are about to get better, a lot better. It feels like, a lot better. Like the magician amplifies everything, right? So everything is about to go right. All the aces are in order. They're all here. You're now going to be able to, scatter your energy amongst the aces. All 4 aces are here when the magician's in the room. So I feel like something really magical is about to happen for you here. It's all good news, my friend. All good news. All right, the page is here. Something surprising is about to show up here. We've got Gemini and Aries energy. We've got Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, more Gemini. Oh, lots of Gemini. We've got Scorpio energy. We've got Piscean energy, Aquarius. We've got Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, Sagittarius, Libra energy, Pisces and Cancer, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We've got Aries energy, Taurus, Aries again. Lots of Aries, lots of action being taken here, and Sagittarius. All right. Well, 2 for 2. 2 for 2. This is a good week. Finally out of the clutches of Mercury retrograde. Things going well. Moving forward. Let's find out what's going on for you, Gemini. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Gemini. What's coming up for the next 7 days? Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Gemini. We've got the 7 of Wands. Gemini. We've got the Moon energy. The 9 of Wands. And the Page of Wands. Look, it feels like, what do I want to say? Oh, the Emperor's here. This is the last stand. I feel like I don't know why I'm saying the last stand, but it feels like it's the last stand. It's the last time that you are standing up and saying, no, that's not the way this is going. I've decided I'm taking control, and I am going to be excited about taking control. I'm looking at the 7 of Wands as sort of an energy of you standing up behind your boundaries and saying, no, you don't get to do this to me anymore. That's not the way this thing is going down. The Moon energy is here with the 9 of Wands, and I want to say that what you're doing is you're standing up as the Emperor, but I feel like underneath you're still quite nervous about how something is going to turn out, because the Moon is here, and when the Moon is here, it's a little bit murky. We can't really see what's going on, or we don't know what the outcome of something is. So the Moon tells us that something is not as it seems. And so I want to say that you are putting on your Emperor hat. It's a pretty decent hat, right? You're putting on your Emperor hat or stepping into your Emperor shoes here. But what people don't see underneath is that this is your last, when you're running a race, a marathon, and the person gets to the last mile of the marathon, and that's when they really gotta dig deep. I feel like this is something that you've really gotta dig deep for, Gemini. You've gotta dig deep for the power to stand up to somebody or something, and just finally say it, because the Page of Wands is here. And I'm going to say, because the Page of Wands is here and pages are children, it almost feels like it's something that you're confronting from your childhood. It feels like you're going to stand up and you're going to say, look, that's it. I'm just going to do this thing. I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to do it finally, because the 10 wands are here. The page carries a wand and the 9 of wands is here. And it tells me that you're dropping something and saying, you know what? I don't care if the moon scares me. I'm just going to go rooting around in the moon energy in the dark, and I'm just going to take my wand with me. And if anything approaches me, I'm going to beat it with a stick. I feel like this Emperor energy is really telling me that you're brave, that I'm the one that's in control here now. There's no one else that's in control of me. It does, for some of you, not all of you, feel like this might be a childhood boogeyman that you're facing. It might be programming you had as a child, right? And I feel like you're finally standing up to something or someone. And look, it could be that maybe you were put down or belittled as a child all your life, and finally there's an employer who's bullying you and you're standing up to the employer. But it feels like that. It feels like you're finally taking control of little Gemini, and you're bringing it to the present as, I'm the Emperor. You don't get to say that to me. Tell me about the 7 of Wands, please. We've got the King of Wands. Yes. Gosh, you're going to inspire so many people, Gemini. That's what it feels like. It's like we go from the page to the king. You've grown up. And now you've realized that the monsters that were under your bed were really smaller than you thought that they were. And I feel like you are now in this King of Wands energy. You've got this go-getter energy. You've got this inspiring sort of get out of my way, it's mine kind of energy. I think you're a force to be reckoned with, and people are going to start to see that person, the one that's not afraid of the dark anymore. We've got the Ace of Swords. You're now saying it out loud because you're the king, whether you're feminine or masculine, right? The king has masculine energy, but also feminine energy. And even if you're the woman, I think that this week, in the next 7 days, you're in your masculine energy saying, nope. You don't get to say that to me that way. You need to know your place, step back. It feels like the Ace of Swords and the King of Wands is this energy of Neptune and Aries is what it feels like. It feels like a revolution. It feels like you're standing up and saying, no, I'm not the page anymore. I'm not the page you used to bully. I'm now the king and I make the rules. That's what it feels like here. Bottom of the deck we have, or sorry, not bottom of the deck, but we have the next card, which is the 10 of Pentacles in the reverse. Bottom of the deck we have the 4 of Wands. So it does feel like it has something to do with you stepping up, that has something to do with your finances or your job or up against your employer or an authority of some sort. Whoever gives you the money, pays you, whoever you feel used to have all of the strings attached to you. The 10 of Pentacles in the reverse is like, I don't care. I'll give it up. I'll give up the job. I'll give up the position. I'll give up the status. I really don't care. You don't get to talk to me like that anymore. It feels like somebody here is taking back their power, is what it feels like. Tell me more about Gemini. The Tower is here. I felt it, man. There is something here that is shifting within you, Gemini. We've got the 8 of Pentacles. It is all kind of pointing to something you've been working on or at the workplace. It feels like you have really put a lot of work in on yourself for some of you. And now is your time to stand up. And when you do stand up for yourself, 7 of Wands, the Tower falls. You bust down the illusion of the Page of Wands, who was helpless, who didn't have anyone to help them, who was somebody who couldn't get the money, find the job. It feels like this is almost like the Page of Wands is an energy where I have a lot of tenacity, but I don't have a lot of skills. But I feel like with the 10 of Pentacles here, you do have a lot of skills. And the High Priestess being here with the 8 of Pentacles, you've literally become the subject matter expert on something, whether that's yourself or how to stand up or how to grow from the page to the king. It feels like you have the High Priestess energy here, which is your intuitive energy. Now you're walking through life intuitively. the universe is like, the Tower is here. We can now throw the illusion to the ground that you are the page, because now you've realized that you are the Emperor King. You are we saw the Emperor at the bottom of the deck, and now we have the King. So, and the King of Wands is the one that's inspired, and the one that's fire, and like, get out of my way. That's Aries, right? Get out of my way. I'm going over there to do that thing. We've got the Eight of Swords here. So it does feel like for some of you, the Tower being here with the Eight of Pentacles tells me that you're standing up to an employer, like an abusive employer, because the Eight of Swords is here. And it feels like you've been thinking about it for a while, or you've been quiet up till now, or you haven't said anything because you didn't want to impact your livelihood. Ten of Pentacles. You didn't want to impact your health. Like, you didn't want to get stressed out. It feels like there are many things that you were giving up in order to remain silent, because the Eight of Swords was here. But I think that you realize that your mental health is probably worth more than any money any employer could give you. It feels like somebody here is standing up and saying, no, I'm on the throne because I have walked through fires hotter than this one, and now I'm in charge. Tell me what the outcome is for Gemini. Look, this is the third reading I've done today with this sort of revolution kind of energy, so I don't know what's going on, but it feels like when one stands up, they all stand up, right? That's what it feels like here. We've got the Page of Cups in the reverse. We've got the Empress. And we've got the Seven of Pentacles. So I feel like it took a long time. You were waiting and waiting and waiting to get this sort of, this is what it looks like when temperance shifts. This is what it looks like when you have a shift of energy, when things shift the Tower. You go from this place of, I can't help myself, to this place of, get the fuck out of my way, because I'm going to that thing that's behind you, and if I have to go through you, I'll go through you. That's what it feels like. That's Gemini energy if I ever felt it. I'm telling you. So the Empress is here. Look, I feel like you are going to deal with this whole thing. You've learned to hold back, or hold yourself back, or wait, or be patient. You've learned to reassess the situation, and you've learned to be in this stable energy. We've now seen the Emperor and the Empress, and I feel like with the Page of Cups in the reverse, it's telling me this is no surprise. I worked to get here. Look, if you're the Empress, and you can tell me in the comments if you are. If you're the Empress, that means you've got a lot of wisdom. You're probably in your late 30s to mid 40s, maybe even earlier. I didn't become the Empress till I was in my 50s, but you could be an old soul, and it could happen a little bit younger for you. But I feel like somebody here has finally stepped into their Empress energy, and you've been waiting for like a sign from the universe to say you're in your Empress energy. But you know what I think brings it out of you? Whatever brings it out of you is whatever the Ten of Pentacles is in the reverse. Someone tries to cheat you out of money. An employer tries to get on your back. Somebody tries to do something that impacts your finances. I feel like that's when you finally stand up and say, no, brah. That's not going this way this time. Around the corner, we've got the Nine of Cups, we've got the Nine of Pentacles, and we've got the Ten of Swords. There's your confidence. And you have the confidence now to bring it all to an end. You have the confidence with the Ten of Swords to say, no, you don't get to betray me. I'm the one that says when this cycle ends. And the Nine of Cups is here because I'm happy within myself. Whether or not you pay me, whether or not you're my friend, whether or not you want to talk to me, I don't really care. I've built my happiness on my own. I've built my reputation. I've built my confidence. I've changed the way that I interact with the world, which means they've changed the way they interact with me. Seven of Swords is here, and the Six of Cups is here. It feels like I'm never going to let that happen again. I'm never going to let somebody else dictate to me what I'm supposed to do. Death card is here. Everything has changed. You've gone through a major awakening here through this full moon to new moon energy, because we are now in the new moon in Virgo. You've gone through some sort of major overhaul in the way that you think, and now you're going to say it out loud. All right. Yikes. Okay, we're 3 for 3 in the revolution. We've got Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. We've got Pisces, Taurus, Virgo, Scorpio, Capricorn. We've got Sagittarius, Pisces, and Cancer, more Aquarius energy. We've got Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo, Taurus, and Libra, and more Scorpio energy. All right. Whew. Stay out of the way of Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. Let's find out what's going on for you, Cancer. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter. Tell me about Cancer. What's going on in the next 7 days for Cancer? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter. Tell me about Cancer. Tell me about Cancer. Cancer, this is the week. This is it. You're going to take this leap, and it feels like excitement that is rising in your chest is what it feels like. It almost feels like nerves. It feels a little bit nervous to me because, look, I have anxiety, so sometimes I'll pick up on things like that. But listen, anxiety and excitement feels like the same thing. There's only one difference between the two. Is there a bear chasing you or not? Like, is something really going wrong around you? I don't think it is. I feel like what you're feeling in the chest, or in that place that is, just below the heart, above the diaphragm, in that little spot there, it feels like excitement. It feels like you're ready to do something new or start something new, a new project, take a leap of faith, doing something here. The Magician energy. It feels like you have put yourself in a place where you can do anything that you want to do. It's the realization. I think that's what the Fool is. The excitement is the realization that I am a person without boundaries, without borders. I've realized my power, my strength, my resources, and that I have all the aces up my sleeve. I can do whatever I want. I can pull a rabbit out of the hat. It feels like you are feeling a little bit invincible. Oh boy. All right. That's why. Because the universe is lending a hand here, is what it is. One more card. Oh boy. Okay, this is now 4 for 4 because this seems like the week of revolution. But it might be because I think it's Neptune that is in Aries. I keep saying that. I could be wrong. I hope I'm not. But it feels like revolutionary energy. It could be Venus in Leo as well. But it feels like... Yeah, I think that's it. Venus just moved into Leo, I think. It's an uncomfortable spot for Venus to be because Leo is very aggressive energy, right? Fiery, aggressive energy. Nonetheless, it does feel like that. It feels like Viva la Revolution. The Tower is here. Somebody's standing up. Somebody is standing up for themselves. I feel like you, Cancer, are finally saying something. You are... I just in my mind's eye saw somebody stand up from behind a teacher's desk. Okay, it's like a teacher standing up and pointing the finger and saying, no, you can't treat me like that anymore. It feels like somebody here is, I'm relieving you of your duties. You might be firing someone. Maybe you're walking out on the job. It feels like that kind of energy when the Magician is colliding with the Tower and the Queen of Swords. Somebody is finding their voice. And it's going to cause some sort of a revolution, literally jumping off the edge. But when the Tower shows up, it's shifting everything. And it feels like what's shifting is the Magician energy with the Queen of Swords. It feels like revolution. It does. Tell me about the Fool. And I think that as you stand up and you speak your mind or speak to say whatever it is that you are, what is the word I'm looking for? I keep saying relieving yourself of. It's like you've finally got some relief, because the Fool and the Queen of Swords is telling me, I'm finally just going to say it. I'm finally just going to do it. And it's going to shake somebody's foundation. When you stand up to say something, when you liberate yourself here verbally, when your thoughts become your words, that's when the Tower falls. But I think that you're going to say it in the most eloquent way because the Magician is here. You're going to leave mouths hanging open here, Cancer. We've got the 5 of Wands. You've been fighting this new chapter here because you're thinking about everything that could go wrong. 5 of Cups. But look, the 5 of Wands is here. You've been fighting or battling yourself. But I want to do it, but I don't know if I'm ready. Look, no one's ever ready to take the leap of faith. But I feel like you are excited to do it, but it might feel like a little bit of nerves, maybe a little bit of anxiety for you. I'm not diagnosing you, I'm not a doctor, but I do have anxiety, and I'm sort of feeling that in the pit of my stomach, I would say. But the 2 5s tells me quick change, my friend. Something is changing quickly, and it's because of something you say that causes a tower. We've got the 9 of Pentacles, because now is the time where you're finally confident enough to stand up and say it. Something's been going well for you in your life, and I feel like it's changed everything for you, Cancer. That you've become more confident in the way that you look, the way you feel. I feel that if you've been building something, that thing is really building strong. So you might be building a reputation. You could be building your finances or a business. You're doing it by yourself. And I feel as though that's why the Fool is here, because you are feeling, I feel like something has changed within you. And I feel like that's when you take the leap of faith, because the 2 5s are here and something changes really quickly. It's like the straw that broke the camel's back. Finally, you're like, I'm just going to say it. What do I have to lose? Because I feel like you've created your own stability, so you have nothing to lose. We've got the King of Cups. We've got the 10 of Pentacles. Oh, do we? We've got the 10 of Cups. Oh boy. Okay, look. This just took a turn, because I think that somebody here is about to go for broke. Because the Ace of Swords is here. And when I say go for broke, it means I don't really care what the outcome is. I'm just going to do it. Because I've waited too long. It's been too long that I've been waiting. And I am not going into the future wondering what if. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. I think that the King of Cups is here because you've been keeping something under the surface, which I feel are feelings, or it feels like somebody here has grown up or is now emotionally available or emotionally intelligent. And I feel like you see something that is long-term love, long-term happiness, long-term exuberance or excitement in the future. But I feel like it's going to take you standing up for yourself and saying something, and that's why the Queen of Swords is here. So I feel like the 10 of Cups, the King of Cups, the 10 of Pentacles, and the Queen of Swords, all huddled here with the Tower, is all pointing to somebody is finally going to be honest about their feelings with someone. And I don't really care what the outcome is, because I can take it. I can do it on my own if I need to. If I'm going to stay single, that's fine. But now is the time of alchemy. It feels like right now the Tower is shaking everything down anyway. And whatever was in the past is gone. And you're ready to move into a new cycle or chapter of your life here, because the Fool is here. And whether you do it with somebody or without somebody, I feel like whether you're doing it by yourself, single, or with somebody else, either way, you don't really care. You know that you've got to stand up and make the change, though, and jump into the new chapter. 5 of Swords is here. Tells me that you are having some intrusive thoughts. So woulda, shoulda, couldas, right? 5, 5, 5. Something definitely is changing really quickly here. And I think that you're imagining it sort of in a dreamy way, Piscean, sort of dreamy kind of. This energy is giving me, but what if we're just raising our kids together? You know, what if we're just raising the kids together and sitting in the yard? And like, it feels like you've been sort of dreaming about that, whether you're the feminine or the masculine. It feels like every once in a while these intrusive thoughts do show up, though. And you wonder, can I change this? It almost feels like somebody's like, something I feel has changed or shifted. And you're like, oh my gosh. Why didn't I do that when I had the chance? That's what it feels like, Cancer. We've got the Page of Wands. We've got the Devil in the reverse and the 2 of Wands. You are out of the clutches of the devil, of fear, of doubt. You're releasing yourself or being released by codependency. It feels like whatever it is, an addiction. It feels like you've released yourself from something, which is going to in turn release you from the crossroads, the 2 of Wands. It feels like you have an excitement that there is something else out there for you, an adventure. It's time to travel. It's time to go out there and see what is out there for me. And I feel like you're being released, the Devil in reverse, from the crossroads, the 2 of Wands. Tell me what's around the corner. We've got the 3 of Wands, we've got the 8 of Cups, and we've got the Page of Swords in the reverse. The 3 of Wands is telling me about expansion. Expansion is here, and I feel like you are choosing to detach from the past, from old emotional hurts. The Page of Swords being in the reverse tells me I've watched enough, I've observed enough, I've seen enough, and it's time for me to end the way things were and go into the new chapter. The Death card being here is transformation. With the Tower and the Death card, this is a major awakening. You're going through a major awakening of something that you possibly could have left behind, or maybe in the other chapter, it didn't seem as important to you as it is right now. And I think you've come to a realization. That's what this is, a realization that something is very important, and that you kind of really have no hope that this person is going to take your call or want to give you attention, because you've been on the outside looking in. But I feel like you've been sitting here thinking and wondering and waiting for the right time. When is the right time? Well, there you go. Moment of alchemy is here. The Ace of Swords. It's time for you to speak. It's time for you to say something. Don't let this moment pass you by again. We've got Scorpio energy. We've got Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius, Taurus, Pisces, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, yeah. We've got Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, Capricorn, Scorpio, and more Aries energy, more revolutionary energy. I'm telling you right now, with all the placements where they are, please go see your nearest astrologer. They'll tell you all about Pluto being in Aquarius in combination with Neptune being in Aries in combination with Venus being in Leo. This is a revolutionary time, personally and globally. All right, let's talk about Leo. Tell me about Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising. Venus and Jupiter, we're just talking about you, Leo. Venus and Leo, right? Tell me about Leo. What's going on with Leo in the next 7 days? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter. All right, what's this? We've got, oh boy, y'all, the Tower is everywhere today. This is a week of a lot of change for some of you. There's decision making, finally speaking it out, saying it, just gonna say it. I don't really care if you put me in cuffs and take me to jail. It feels like that kind of energy, Leo. That's what it is. So far, all of the readings that I've done so far, that's the feeling here. And I don't think yours is much different. I feel like with this Chariot here, that this is discipline. I have been in a pause, thinking about things, disciplining my thoughts, disciplining my emotions. It feels like getting things in balance, because I'm ready to make one of the biggest moves of my life. But I'm just waiting for the universe to tell me it's go time. And I think it is, because Temperance is here. And although Temperance is a soft sort of energy of being in balance, it also is a little bit revolutionary in that it is the moment of alchemy. It's like the third eye opens. All of a sudden, after going back, water and fire, water and fire, water and fire, we finally find the perfect temperature for something, for you to stand up and finally say it. For you to take those thoughts and those downloads that you've been having and finally put them into words. So that's where we get the Chariot and the Tower and the Ten of Cups. It does feel like somebody here is realizing that in order for me to be the happiest I could ever be in my life, I need to have discipline in my thought patterns, in the things that I do. I need to get myself back in balance. And when you do that, when you notify the universe that you're ready for all of that, the Tower shows up and says, good, because the life you were living was an illusion anyway. It was something that you built out of safety measures. It was the illusion that you built in your life were a bunch of patchwork things to keep the holes in the boat from sinking. It feels like you were, putting your whole finger in that hole and that one and putting the patches on and trying to patch the boat so it didn't sink. And now it feels like the Chariot is, you know what, I'm just going to get out of the damn boat. I'm just going to get out of the boat and I'm going to buy a new boat. And that, I think, was what the Ten of Cups is. So we've got, in the future, we've got the Ace of Swords and the Five of Swords. Feels like revolutionary energy. I'm just going to frickin' say it, and you don't want to listen. I don't give a shit. I'm just going to say it, and then I'm walking out the door. And if you don't like it, fine. If you like it, follow me. I just saw the Knight of Cups under the bottom of the deck. It feels like you just like, look, this is what is going on, and I'm just here to say this thing. And if you like what I'm saying, call me. And if you don't, see you around. Like that. That's what it feels like. Tell me about the freaking temperance. Y'all are going to be exhausting me by the end of all of this. Tell me about Leo. Tell me about this temperance. All right. The moon energy. You're waiting. It feels like you're waiting for the right moment in time for something, for you to stand up, for you to do something, for you to leave where you are and go to another place, for you to find the discipline to get in this chariot, balance your masculine and feminine energies, and go out and get whatever it is that you want here. And I think what you want is going to bring you great happiness. We've got the Seven of Pentacles. And we've got the Six of Wands. So it does feel like the Seven Pentacles is giving me a little bit of energy of waiting, but also energy of I've been working really hard to try and figure out what my next move is. The Seven Pentacles are the crop in the tree, right? There's 6 pentacles there actually, and that tells me that you are looking at giving more attention to somebody than you were giving to another. It feels like a little bit of reciprocal energy, but in a way where you're actually being very specific. You're picking the person that you're giving all of your energy to. We've got the Seven of Pentacles laying on the ground here. The 7th Pentacle is laying on the ground. So it's the Ace of Pentacles that's here. And it feels like you don't really know what to do with it just yet because the moon is here and things are not as they seem. But I feel like your plan here is to go home or to make the most of this new cycle. The Six of Wands is about coming back from the war, coming back from the fight. It's the victory lap. It's also sort of crossing a finish line, I guess, of sorts. And for you, I feel like you are deciding that it's time to break the chains that bound you here. It feels like somebody is leaving fear behind, fear, doubt, addiction, something that made you scared to take a step forward. And it feels like you're in this King of Cups energy, which is, I feel like you've been reborn into a new cycle here, that you are emotionally aware, emotionally available, keeping it all under wraps. Cillian Murphy. I'm just looking at Cillian Murphy with his arms crossed. The look on his face like, yeah, whatever. Can we get this over with, please? Like that. It feels like that sort of energy. We've got the Six of Cups. We've got the Four of Swords. You've healed from the past. I love it. That's why this moment of alchemy is showing up for you. You've healed your past thought patterns, energies, and you've broken away. As we saw the Devil on the bottom of the deck, you've broken away from these toxic things that happened to you in the past. It feels like you have a new energy about you, Leo, and it's hopeful. It's hopeful for the future. And I'm not telling you that the future is people, places, things, money. Look, whatever the Six of Wands is, it feels like it's revolutionary, but it feels also like it is victory. So it feels like you have healed from some sort of past energy that you'd been stuck in your mind about. Look, there's a lot of people that I see in the comments that are stuck on one thing. There's a one person that comes back to my comments every single time I post and leaves the same comment. They're stuck in their energy and they can't change their mind. This tells me different. This tells me that you had been stuck for so long that you're finally listening to the universe, and when the tower falls, you finally get things in balance. You finally are flexible, more flexible in the mind. Look how beautiful that is. And now you're able to see the value in taking some sort of a leap of faith. It's okay to take a chance, as long as it's an educated leap of faith. And the Fool, yes, it feels like I could be foolish at any moment, but it also is excitement. The excitement of something new. And I've already checked. There's no rocks at the bottom. There's only water. It's going to be soft. I've got the world at my fingertips. I can take a leap whenever I want to. And look, there's so many planets that are in Aries right now. And they're all retrograding. It feels like you're ready to just say, fuck that shit. I'm going for it. I'm just going to do it. Tell me, there's a lot of fuck that shit energy this week. Tell me about the outcome, please, for Leo. We've got the Seven of Cups. Ooh, got the Judgment card. And we've got the Three of Cups. Okay. So for some of you, not all of you, and if it doesn't apply to you, please leave it here. And I don't really need to hear if it doesn't apply to you. But if this does apply to you, it feels like somebody here is going for it for the reunion. going to contact the person, going to ask them out, going to finally say it. And look, I'm not feeling any hardship here. I'm not feeling any anger in the past. I'm not feeling any of that. So don't try and make it that reading. It may not be about you if that's how you're feeling, because that's your negativity that you're projecting here, Leo. But I feel that somebody here is finally making a decision to take a turn in their life, to change their mind, to go on a different path. And although it's going to be confusing, you're ready to do it anyway. You're going to get celebration. You're going to get happiness. Some of you are going to get some sort of reconciliation or a reunion. And it feels like it is a happy time for you here. Because you finally decided to listen, and the tower, as it shifted, you got the hell out of the way with the Chariot. Tell me what is around the corner, please, for Leo. We've got the Two of Cups, we've got the King of Cups, and we've got the Strength card. So now you've learned the value of holding back your energy, holding back your emotions. And it feels like you are, again, 3 cups is here, right? It feels like there is somebody who possibly that you feel as though maybe you passed over them, or you didn't take the chance that you could have taken at that time. It feels like you held back at that time, but it feels like it was by design. I think you were supposed to wait until you grew up emotionally, or until you realized that in order to have this bond, whether it's platonic or romantic, in order to have this bond here, I do have to be emotionally available. I have to be emotionally aware. I have to be ready to share my emotions. The Strength card is here, but I was holding back for the longest time. So now I'm going to try and find the courage. It does feel like somebody here is trying to find the courage to restructure something in a different way. It feels like it's emotional structure. So it feels like I want to try and bring structure, grounding, solid structure to the situation. I want to try and make something right here. The Sun is here. It is your time, right? That's you, Leo. It is your time. I feel like you've been thinking about it since Leo season. We just literally stepped into Virgo season, and for a short time there, the Moon and the Sun were in the same sign, and so it's like somebody came in and threw on the lights, and you had some sort of revelation here. We've got Aries, we've got Aquarius, we've got Scorpio, Leo energy. We've got Taurus, more Leo energy, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. Pisces, Cancer, yeah, we've got Pisces, Cancer, we've got Virgo and Pisces and Scorpio, Leo on the bottom of the deck. All right, and what about you, birthday babies? What about you, Virgo? Happy birthday, friends. Tell me when your birthday is. I want to be able to say happy birthday. I know you guys aren't the chattiest Cathys in the comments, but if you tell me when your birthday is, I promise I'll say happy birthday to you. All right. I hope you're having a beautiful season so far. I know we've just only got to the start of it, but it's coming in with a bang. Let's find out what's going on with Virgo. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter for the next 7 days. Tell me about Virgo. Tell me about Virgo, please. Virgo, we've got the 9 of Pentacles. You're looking great. You're feeling good. You've got a lot of energy. Feels like you're feeling strong, secure. Got the 5 of Swords. We've got the Page of Cups. And we've got the Strength card. Queen of Cups is on the bottom of the deck. I feel like this 9 of Pentacles is telling me that you've been working really hard on yourself or on something. You're building something for yourself, and it's ready to launch. The Page of Cups is here. It feels like you're feeling stronger, I'm going to say. That maybe you're almost surprising yourself at how strong or how Strength card is here. It's like you've faced some type of fear here, and you're feeling more courageous than ever. I feel like you still have apprehension, or you still have this dialogue, this inner dialogue that goes on, but Virgo, you're really hard on yourself. I feel like you still have this inner dialogue that's really tough for you to get over, and I don't know that you'll ever get over it 100%, but I do feel like with the 9 of Pentacles here that you feel strong enough, sturdy enough, confident enough to do that. I feel like there is some good news, or I feel like you're going to surprise yourself with your courage. Something here is taking courage, and it might be just the courage to fight your own mind, to try and shut off that reel in your head that keeps telling you you're not enough. Tell me about the Nine of Pentacles here. Got Temperance in the reverse. We've got the Five of Cups. No more. I'm just going to say no more, period. Because with the Temperance in the reverse, I was like, because the first thing I think when I see Temperance in the reverse is no. And then the Five of Cups is sadness, regret. It's telling me no more regret, friend. That's it. No more regret. You need to focus on the Nine Pentacles, on the strength, the money, the business, whatever it is that you've created within yourself. You need to focus on that. No more of this Five of Cups business. We've got the Five of Wands, because it's something here is about to change really quickly. So I think that even though Temperance is here, it's in the reverse. It's telling me the moment of alchemy is coming, where you decide there's no more time to sit here and be melancholy about things that didn't work out. I feel like with the two fives here, we got three fives here actually, quick change, right? Something is changing quickly, and I feel like you're going to surprise yourself that you're facing some type of fear here, Virgo. Tell me more about this. High Priestess, Queen of Swords, and the Knight of Swords. I feel like you've been quiet for a while, and this is such a Virgo thing. You've been quiet, you've been watching, you've been observing, figuring out what it is you want to say, figuring out what it is you want to do. You've played it in your mind over and over again 1,000 times, how you're going to stand up, how you're going to be honest and truthful with the people around you, and if you need to, you will be aggressive. It feels like you have something to say that is the absolute truth that you've been keeping under the surface for a while, and everything has changed now. You're finally finding the courage to not be as quiet as usual. Usually you're the watcher, right? You're the watcher. You take everything in by watching people. And I feel like the Queen of Swords is finally saying it, is finally putting up their boundaries and saying, you want aggressive? I will show you aggressive. You want to know exactly who I am underneath? Then I will show you, because now I'm confident enough to say it. So the High Priestess tells me for the longest time you were quiet about your losses. It feels like for a long time you were in indecision. Feels like you were sort of maybe in a sadness or a depression. It feels like it's because of whatever you were telling yourself on this loop. And I feel like you're going to surprise yourself that the next person that comes to you and tries to remind you of what you are not, because all of these fives are here, all of this lack. When people come to you and try to remind you what you are not or who you are not, you're going to say, you know what? You need to sit down for a second, because I got something to say. The Queen of Swords is here, and I'm just going to say it once, so you better listen. You better listen, because I'm only saying this once. I feel like you're pulling out some sort of courage, confidence, and they didn't expect it because the moon is here. Somebody here expected you, because you are the watcher. They don't realize that as you're watching, you're reassessing. You're assessing and you're formulating. And that it is the moon energy that they see things are quiet. They hear the crickets in the background, but they don't understand that you're logging it all. That you're figuring them out, looking at the outside, looking at the inside. And I think that there is something here that they don't expect from you, because the moon is things that they can't see. I think that the moon is, it's like you're going to speak about your feelings or give your feelings on something and be very clear with people. Yeah, it feels like you've been sort of in this energy of back and forth. I don't really know if I should say it. Maybe you've been too busy to address it, but it feels like as of recently, the Hermit energy is here and you've gone into self-preservation mode. I feel like the King of Swords is telling me that in the Hermit energy, you became really honest with yourself and you decided that you are no longer going to mince words. If they don't like it, then I don't really care. I'm just going to go ahead and say it the way that I'm going to say it. I feel like with this Hermit energy, though, that you are a person who is going to say it in a way that is the kindest way possible. Because the Hermit is that. Spiritual energy is sort of soft energy. But listen, people who are spiritual are not religious. And so people expect a certain type of behavior from people that are religious. They think they can do what they want, but they hold people that are religious to a different standard. people kind of mistake that of people who are spiritual. And I would say that this Hermit and this King of Swords is telling me that you're a spiritual gangster, is what you are. You finally come to this energy of, I don't give a shit if you don't like what I say, because the truth doesn't really care if you like it. The truth is just the truth. So it feels like you are, that people aren't going to expect this of you, but you're about to be very sharp, very honest, and very truthful. Because of some sort of realization you've come to with the Hermit and the King of Swords, that you need to get your spirituality in balance. It's like you're balancing your dark and your light side because the Moon and the Hermit is here. So you've been balancing the self, and now you're about to speak your truth about it. So I dare them. I dare them to step forward when you're not in the mood. Tell me what the outcome is for Virgo. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. I like it. We've got the Page of Wands. There it is. And we got the Six of Wands. So look, the Six of Wands and the one in the hand of the page tells me 7 wands. You're standing up for yourself. It's destiny, friend. It's time. It's time for everything to change and for you to move forward into the new cycle, card number 10. And 10s break down to a 1. It's a new cycle for you. Things are moving forward in a very different way. And it's because you've come out of the dark night of the soul. It feels like you've come out of this really dark place where you were wrestling, right? High Priestess, Hermit, and the Moon, wrestling with the self. And you decided, you know what, there's just no soft way to say this. I'm just going to be honest with you. And that's going to cause people to walk away from my boundaries, because the Queen of Swords is the one with the verbal boundaries. It's going to cause people to walk away, but I don't think you care, because you're in this era right now of winning. You're in this winning era right now, Virgo. It feels like this Six of Wands energy tells me that people can see you for miles. Feels like you're powered on, I'm going to say, because got all this power coming off the end of the wand. Feels like you're powered on. And with the 7 wands, it feels like, you know what, I've got these boundaries and I'm standing up for myself. So if you don't like me speaking my truth, then you're probably not the right person for me. Tell me what is going on around the corner. Again, we've got 6 readings on the table so far today, and this is all revolutionary energy. And that is the energy that is in the ethers right now. That's what's going on astrologically. Find your nearest astrologer. Tell me what's going on for Virgo, what's around the corner. We've got the King of Pentacles, slow and steady wins the race. We've got the 4 of Cups. And we've got the 6 of Pentacles. 7 of Cups is here. So it feels like in your plight of giving reciprocal energy to people, that you're going to be giving more energy to some and less to others. It's going to be reciprocal nonetheless. You know what you're doing? You're matching energy is what you're doing now. You're not going to be the overgiver. Now, I know about you, what I know about Virgo energy, because I know a few of them, is that you're very giving. You're very giving. You will make sure everyone's comfortable. You're the one that's in service. I really want to do this for you. And if somebody takes advantage and then you feel taken advantage of, but Virgo, you're slow to notice when people are taking advantage of you. But when you feel taken advantage of, then you say, no, I'm not doing this with you anymore. And when you say no, it's no. And the 6 of Pentacles being here tells me that you're now matching energy. Who gives you the most, you're given the most. Who gives you the least, you're given the least. And that's where the sweet spot is. I feel like the 4 of Cups is telling me that, yes, it's comfort zone, but it's a sweet spot for you. I feel now that you are looking for obstacles. You maybe were giving blindly before, but now I think that you are going slow enough that you see the obstacles in the distance, and that you're growing and you're going to help other people around you grow. But now it's a time when you are matching energy. You don't give it to me, I'm not giving it to you. You give it to me, I'm kind and compassionate and loving, and I'm empathetic to your situation. But don't play me. That's what it feels like. Do not play Virgo. We've got Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. We've got Virgo energy. We've got the Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy, Pisces, Cancer, Gemini, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, Leo. We've got Scorpio energy, Sagittarius, Taurus energy, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, Sag. Here you go. All right. Whew, Libra, you're gonna just lay it out for me today, or you're gonna let me rest? Tell you what, all these readings are pretty wild. Oh, Libra, give me balance, please. Let's find out what's going on for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter in the next 7 days. Tell me about Libra. Whew, these energies, man. Tell me about Libra. And Libra, you know, I'm not your astrologer, but I think Mars is in your sign. I think that's what's going on right now. So even you're a little bit aggravated, agitated, and maybe not in the bad way. I think for you, Libra, it's in a good way, because I think that some things need to break down for you right now, so you can really regain your balance. It feels like your scales are off a little bit, and you're regaining balance here. And I think that Mars in your sign is helping you revolutionize your life. Again, there's the revolutionary energy. We've got the King of Cups. We've got the Fool. Oh, what's going on here? Libra, it feels like whether you're the feminine or the masculine, somebody here has grown up or has reached the pinnacle of emotional adulthood. I'm going to say, look, when we're dealing with the King of Cups is Cillian Murphy. Do you know who that is? The King of Cups is the one sitting there with their arms crossed, not really letting you read their face, just like, when is this going to be over? Like, it feels like you are in this energy of the King of Cups, ready to take some sort of leap of faith, but the people around you don't know it because you're not showing it on the surface. It feels like you've become emotionally aware. You're aware that people are watching for your reaction on the surface, and you're not giving it. Oh boy, you are not giving it. You are completely in control of your emotions. But I think under the surface, it's a little bit of worry. So there is something here that I feel, what? Why did Charlie just say rocket launcher? It feels like you're launching yourself into a new chapter of your life here. But you know what? The new chapter that you're launching, you are walking into as the Emperor, which means you're in control. You're the person who is in control. This is a plan. You've planned it this way. It's strategic. You've leveled up in some way. And I don't know if someone's leveled you up or you leveled up by yourself, but it feels like you're now, when you walk into a room, you're no longer like, oh, I hope they like me. You're like, do I even like any of these guys? Do I even want to be here? It feels like you're really in control of your energy. People now see you as somebody who's holding back, who's not really emoting on the surface. They can't really, maybe they used to be able to read you. Maybe you were out of balance. Maybe that was it. Maybe you were a little bit out of balance and they used to be able to read you on the surface, but I don't think that they can read you on the surface right now, because I feel like you are in this very steady, sturdy energy, which is the King of Cups. You could have a water placement, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, maybe Aries. We've got Aries here a couple of times. It doesn't have to be though. But we have, I feel like you're just not allowing people to see maybe the worry for the future under the surface. Excuse me. Tell me what's going on with this King of Cups here. We've got the Six of Swords. We've got the Knight of Wands. And we've got the Hermit energy. Wow, very interesting. It feels like you're ready to make a really big, brave move. You've become unstuck. It feels like you were stuck somewhere. I'm going to say emotionally, you were stuck somewhere. And that could mean many things. It could mean that possibly somebody hurt you and you were trying to heal. Hermit energy is here. Somebody burned you. The Knight of Wands is here. It feels like you are stepping into this new chapter of your life with the Fool as somebody who's healed and repaired, but also somebody who's dealing with people in a very different way. I feel like you're very controlled, you're very strategic, and you are just not letting everybody see your feelings on the surface anymore. You're presenting as somebody who is open-hearted, who is kind, who is loving, but also somebody who is very controlled. I feel like you have finally broken away from some sort of chaos, and it's reason to celebrate, but it also feels like what you're keeping under the surface is a little bit of fire. You might have a fire placement because we've got this king here boxed in by Sagittarius and Aries. So it feels like you, or maybe even Leo, Sagittarius, Aries energy here. It feels like we've got the Hermit and we've got somebody here who's meditating, who's trying to feel things out. We've got the Five of Cups, we've got the Page of Cups, and we've got the Justice card. There's something here that you're about to do that I feel you don't want to miss out on. So I feel like sometimes emotionally you can spiral. And I feel as though now you are no longer in this emotionally spiraling place. You're now steady, because that's who the King is, steady in the storm. It feels like you're ready to take some sort of a leap of faith here. The Page of Cups is here emotionally. So it might be the beginning of you really listening to the intuitive or psychic self, but it does feel like you're about to take some sort of a leap or step into some sort of a new chapter. And I feel like in this new chapter is one of balance, because Justice is here. So the Page of Cups is here. It's good news. You're at the beginning of a cycle. It's exciting and maybe even a little bit shocking, because it feels like you're even impressing yourself as to now how much more in balance you are. It feels like you are spiritually in balance as well. Tell me more about Libra. We've got the Eight of Swords. So I feel as though you spent a lot of time spiraling out of control in your mind about what might be coming up in the future. I'm looking at the Five of Cups, the Nine of Swords, and the Eight of Swords. But I feel like that is being replaced now by the Major Arcana, which is Justice, which is your energy, right? That's Libran energy. And so it feels like what has balance now is your emotions. So I want to say that you're coming out of this place, you're detaching from the past, where I feel that you were out of control emotionally, or that maybe things were tipped and not necessarily balanced. I feel like you're moving into this new cycle. And this new cycle is not perfect, understand. I feel like sometimes you still have a little bit of anxiety or apprehension, or maybe a little bit of regret of things that didn't go right. But I think that what you're moving toward going in the future is listening and balancing your emotions or your intuition with your Swords energy. So you're not just head over heart anymore. You're now balancing your emotional energy with your Swords energy. I think that you're still going to overthink things, yep, because you wouldn't be Libra if you didn't. And I think, though, that this Justice energy and this Page of Cups energy tells me the good news is, Page of Cups, is that balance is here, restoration and doing the right thing. 8, 9, 10. Letting it go, releasing it. Tell me what the outcome is for Libra. We've got the Page of Swords, lesson learned. We've got the Ace of Pentacles and the Two of Wands. So I feel like you have made a decision. The decision is, I'm going to take action and I'm going to give an offer, or I'm going to plant a new pentacle and enter into this cycle prepared. Because the Ace of Pentacles is where we drop the seed, and then we're just going to keep moving, right? We go to the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, all the way to the 10. And by the time we get to the 10, we're like, oh, it grew. So I feel like this Page of Swords tells me that you are going from being the observer to the person who is actually taking the action to plant the pentacle. And then you're going to wait. You're going to wait at the crossroads and wait for the right time. I think you're planning really well to drop this pentacle, to drop the seed of your intention, and then move forward here. Move forward, look to the future, figure out what it is that you want to do, dream about your expansion, and make a good plan. And tell me what is coming around the corner. You're planning to do something here. Oh, look, the King and the Queen of Cups are here. Somebody's planning to show their feelings to somebody for sure, but you're going to do it in a very reserved way. It's not going to be a grand display of affection, because I don't see the Knight of Cups here, but it does feel like it's going to be in a very controlled, spiritually deep, emotionally deep, controlled kind of structured way, if that makes sense. You're taking this leap of faith, this free fall here, this trust fall, but I feel like you trust yourself. And so it's okay, because she's got amethyst in the hand. You've got protection, right? We've got the Moon energy and we've got the Judgment card. It's a rebirth. You're being reborn into the new chapter as the Emperor. This is something you've really worked toward. I feel like, the thing is that things aren't as they seem, and I don't think that bothers you anymore, because the Emperor is very brave, right? We've also got the Knight of Wands here, who's also very brave. So I feel like the Judgment card here tells me that you're being resurrected or being born into a new cycle of some sort, where you really don't know what the outcome is, but you are depending on yourself. We've got, you're depending on yourself to keep your balance. And I think you're going to do it really well, because you're doing it with the strength, the security and the reserved energy of the Emperor. You're hiding your feelings for someone at this time, but I feel like somebody here is mirroring you and is going to bring you. I feel like this is a really balanced love. It's a balanced emotion that you're feeling, whether it's love or emotion for something else. 2 of Cups, I'm just going to say, Hanged Man, that you've been holding back, thinking about it, but I think you're ready to go. It's go time. You're ready to talk about it here, my friend. To be honest about the heart space, you've been holding back and waiting. You've been in a pause trying to get perspective. Does this person share the same energy that I share with them? And I feel like the King and the Queen mirror each other, so I think your answer is yes. You're about to say it. I feel like you're about to tell somebody exactly how you feel about them, whether it's romantic or platonic. We've got Aries, Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. We've got more Libra energy. We've got Pisces, Cancer, Virgo, and Pisces. Pisces and Cancer, more Virgo. We're in Virgo season, right? We've got Aries, and we've got Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. All right. Scorpio, let's find out what's going on with Scorpio. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Be kind to me, Scorpio. These readings have been pretty wild. Everybody's standing up. Revolutions are going on. Tell me about Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. The next 7 days. Sneak peek for this week. Tell me about Scorpio. I've got the 8 of Cups. Justice. Okay, the Empress is in reverse. The 7 of Pentacles is here. So we've got, just looking here, all right, we've got the 10 of Wands, and it feels like you're burning something to the ground here, Scorpio. And listen, this could be in the next 7 days, but for some of you, it's not in the next 7 days. It could be after that. But what we're looking at here is I feel that you feel justified about detaching or walking away from someone. We've got the Empress in the reverse. There's someone here who is not listening to you. I feel like you've been reassessing a situation that you're in. You've been putting in a lot of hard work, a lot. And all you keep getting is hurt. The Empress is in the reverse. And in this particular situation where the 8 of Cups is here, it does feel like you've kind of detached from the Empress in reverse. Because the Empress in the reverse is someone who is all nails, hair, and makeup and outfit. They got one marble rolling around on the inside. They have no couth, they have no morals, they don't really care. They just are looking to acquire things for themselves. So they're using people around them. The Empress is somebody who maybe has children but isn't a great mother or father. The Empress is somebody who is all talk, no action. This person will tell everybody what they want to do, but they won't accomplish any of it. So it feels like you've got somebody in your midst here that you are detaching from emotionally, and you feel justified in doing that because this person has either been lying to you or hasn't been taking care of themselves, or it feels like somebody here has... It feels like they've given you a lot of promises, but they fulfilled nothing of them. And now you're reassessing the situation here. It feels like you've been putting a lot of energy into a situation, but it feels like you're the one who's been putting in all the energy, understand? I feel like this Empress in reverse has been reaping the rewards of all of your hard work. This person is standing around watching you do all the housework, doing the child rearing, taking care of the dogs, like whatever it is. I feel like somebody here is standing back and watching you do everything, and it feels like you're at the edge of walking away because Justice is here with the 8 of Cups. Tell me about the 8 of Cups, please. All right, what's this? We've got the 4 of Pentacles. So we're not talking. We're like ghosts in the night. Yeah, we're not talking to each other. Sitting on it. When nighttime comes, we might even be sleeping in separate rooms. Got the Moon here. Feels like someone here is just about ready to let go of something. The 4 of Pentacles is something that is shut off or shut down. No vulnerability. We're not really talking to each other right now. Our finances could be stable, but I'm kind of holding back with my emotions because I don't know what's going on here. Because somebody here has turned into the Empress in reverse. We've got the High Priestess. We've got the 6 of Pentacles. I feel like you're matching energy right now. And for the most part, I feel like you're holding back and staying silent. It feels like you are trying to feel out the situation intuitively with your psychic energy. You might be someone who has psychic energy. I mean, all Scorpios do. Whether you recognize it or not is up to you. But I feel like you are intuitively or psychically, you're matching energy with someone in your life, in your home. You could be dating them. You could be married to them. You're matching energy with them now. You're not giving more effort than they're giving you. I feel like you've decided to match the energy of this person, and which has rendered you kind of detached. They're viewing you as someone who's detached, but meanwhile, they're the Empress in reverse. They're not taking care of anything except themselves. They seem quite selfish to you in their energy right now. We've got the Hanged Man, we've got the Eight of Wands, and we've got the Sun. Breakthrough. I think there is a breakthrough here. The Eight of Wands it's you, the Eight of Wands and the Hanged Man. It's the perspective of, do I really want to move forward with this? I really need a clear answer. I feel like your clear answer is coming and that you'll probably receive it at the end of the 7 days for some of you, not all of you. It feels like there is some sort of a breakthrough coming that I've got to move forward regardless of what's going on here. The Hanged Man is, I feel like you've been in a pause. I feel like you've been spending time by yourself, thinking things through, thinking things out, trying to get perspective. What do I do next? I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do in this situation, where somebody who used to be the Empress in the upright is now the Empress in reverse, and I'm stuck here holding the bag. Three of Swords, and it's breaking my heart. So the Sun is coming out. There is a breakthrough showing up. You're going through a growth spurt. I feel like you are growing in the relationship whereby the other person probably is not. You're showing up as the High Priestess. You're showing up as Justice, showing up as the Sun. It feels like you are needing balance, or to bring something back into balance. And I feel like you think you've got to do that. Like the Eight of Wands and the person on the Sun are looking into the future. And so I feel like in the future, you feel like it could be heartbreaking, but I might just have to leave the situation because it's not working for me. What's the outcome? Outcome is Judgment. Ooh, boy. Four of Wands. Damn. And the Ace of Swords. So the Judgment, right? I've got to make a decision about what I'm doing from here. I feel like this is a time of revolution, or this is a time of being reborn. It feels like you have to go on a different path, and you know that you do. But first, you've got to say something. I feel like your third eye is open. You are someone who's quite psychic or intuitive and goes by your feelings or emotions. Four of Wands tells me that you are getting the answer this week. I feel like you will get a stable, clear answer from the universe about what is to happen next. And I think you're supposed to really, really, three reallys, listen to your intuition. Because I feel like you're in a place right now where things are not happy. Someone is not returning your energy. They keep taking and not giving. And it's breaking your heart. I feel like you see it now for what it is. And it feels like somebody here has decided, I've got to make a decision to put myself in balance because someone else in my life is out of balance. So I feel like this week is the week where you're reassessing the situation and seeing it for what it is, which is the Three of Swords, which is heartbreak, distance, yeah. I was going to say demands. It feels like somebody's demanding things of you, but they're not willing to do those things for you. Tell me about what's around the corner. We've got the King of Cups. There you are. The Seven of Wands and the Knight of Cups in the reverse. I've got to stand up. I finally got to show somebody what is underneath, not just what's on the surface, because I think this is unrequited love. It feels like I'm falling out of love. I don't really love you anymore. I'm falling out of love here. You're making me defensive. You're making me do it all by myself. You're making me feel like I've got to protect myself against you, protect my feelings. Knight of Pentacles. And I think we should reassess the situation as it is. We can go really slow, but we need to reassess the situation. The Judgment card is telling me that the universe is pushing you to make a decision, because I don't think you're happy where you are right now. And with the Sun coming out with the Three of Swords, it tells me that you've realized you likely have to move forward into the future by yourself in order to be able to heal the disappointment or the heartbreak that's been going on. Because I think you've been just trying to hold it together for the sake of the kids or for the sake of the relationship. You can see her heart, she's got it sort of bound to her chest through barbed wire. Like it feels like it's painful, and that you're here and you don't want to be here is what it feels like. We've got the Nine of Wands. You're just about ready to drop the burdens here. The Page of Pentacles is here, and we've got the Hierophant. This is you're getting very little effort, energy, time, money from somebody that you're already committed to or in a partnership with. And I think that you're thinking about my happiness. I think I need to go with my happiness. I need to learn how to build my own happiness alone, single possibly. With the Fool here, I feel like the next chapter is, I feel like you're very close to letting things go, because I feel like you're getting tired. This is the Resilience card, because somebody here is putting in minimal time, effort, energy, and money, and you're carrying this whole connection, commitment, job. You're carrying it all. You could have like a really crappy business partner. Feels like you're carrying it all and you're about to burn out. Or maybe you're in burnout already. We've got Virgo. We've got Leo. Cancer energy. Pisces. Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. More Pisces energy. Libra and Taurus. Virgo and Pisces. Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. It's on your mind. It's what it feels like. Tell me about Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. Venus and Jupiter. Tell me about my fire family. Tell me about Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. Venus and Jupiter, the next 7 days. Sneak peek for this week. Tell me about Sagittarius. Sagittarius, you're looking great. Empress energy is here. Feels very abundant. I feel like this is it feels like you've shifted into this energy of feeling stable and good. Emotions are stable. Life is good. We've got the Seven of Swords. We've got the Three of Swords. And we've got the Queen of Wands. I kind of like that energy, because the Queen of Wands has been born from the ashes. It feels like you've been lied to, you've been cheated on, you've been deceived. It feels like there's people who got away with things in your life. I feel like you've been treated terribly, treated badly. Your heart's been broken. I know this sounds very dramatic, but we are in a Sagittarius reading. But look, the Queen of Wands is here. I feel like it's the Queen of Wands who pulled you out of the fire. I feel like you are looking better than you ever have, feeling more balanced than you ever have. I feel like the Seven of Swords and the Three of Swords, the terrible betrayals, lies and deceit, and all the things that have been done to you up to here have done nothing but forged you through those fires. You've walked through the fire, and I feel like it just sharpened your sword is what it did, right? It just sharpened who you are. So it feels like the Queen of Wands is part of the Empress energy. The Queen of Wands is the one that's responsible for dragging you through the hardest parts of your life. And I think that's pretty cool, because it feels like you've been through a lot of hardship, Sagittarius, but you're now past the karma. You're past the karma. You've paid it out. You've gone through the fires, you've walked through it, and you're sitting on the throne in spite of it all. It feels like you're in this Empress energy, and so you're not just the Queen of Wands anymore. You've learned to love, be compassionate, be kind. It's like the ones who've been hurt the most end up being the ones who are the most compassionate, loving, and kind, because they know how terrible life can be. And the Ten of Swords next to the Queen of Wands here tells me that you've been through some really, really terrible times. So I feel like we're looking at you as the Empress right now. And it's because of your Queen of Wands energy that you're able to stand up solid, sturdy, grounded, kind, compassionate, abundant in your Empress energy. Balanced. Solid. Tell me about the Empress. We've got the Four of Cups. You've been rejected over and over and over again. Emotionally and in love, it feels like you've endured a lot of rejections in your life, emotional rejections. We've got the Lovers in reverse. Possibly you've been through marriages or soulmate connections that just didn't work out for you. And now you question. The thing is this, is when we're in it, when we're looking at that person and they're all beautiful and, you know, we're all like up in our head about them and it's the heart space and all those dramatic emotional things, we're sure that, you know, we're ready to pull that label off the paper and stick it on their forehead and call them whatever we want to call them, twin flame, whatever, soulmate, karmic, whatever label you put on them. But I think that once we get past it, and once we get into a place of stable emotions, then we look back at it and we're like, that wasn't a soulmate. Ew, what was I thinking? Like, that's what it feels like. What was I thinking? Now that you're on the throne, now that you're like looking incredibly handsome, incredibly amazing and beautiful, now that you have all this confidence and you're independent and can do it on your own, you're like, ew. What was I thinking back there? The Lovers in the reverse is telling me that you made some choices that maybe you're not so happy with, but it took you getting to this place of stability or stable emotions in order for you to realize that the rejections you were receiving were to tell you that you weren't on the right path and that you weren't supposed to be with that person or those people. Because you might have had, you know, one after the other, crash and burn relationships possibly. But it's because none of them were soulmates. And I think that you wanted them to be soulmates, and maybe you called them that, but I don't think that they were. I think that they could be karmic soulmates, because really all a karmic soulmate is somebody who's going to make you trust them immediately so they can teach you the lesson and then they're gone. So it feels like these are karmic relationships that have rejected you up till now. And then we have the Six of Swords, and now you are past the lesson. I love that. So the Six of Swords being here is, you know what? No more chaos. I'm not falling in love with the love bomber. I'm not falling in love with potential, what I want them to be or what I'm hoping it will be. I'm now really looking at things for what they are. And so no more chaos. Now you're in a calmer place emotionally, because she is going from the calm, or going from the chaos to the calm. She's on the water. And then we have 4 cups, which is stability. 4 is stability, and it's stability of the emotions. So now that you're no longer in this tumultuous place, you're in this calm, abundant, stable place. I think that you now see the past relationships for what they were. They were karmic lessons, and you needed them all to build you to the place where you are right now, which is the Empress energy. And when you're in the Empress energy, you've got boundaries. You're not chasing people. You're not hoping and wishing that somebody from the past is going to come back. That's not what the Empress does. The Empress is looking into the future, but I think must learn from the past. And that's why I always say to y'all, forgive, but don't forget, tattoo it on the inside of your eyes, because you don't want to go through those cycles again, right? We've got the Page of Swords. Yeah, there it is. The Page of Swords, the Sun is in the reverse, and the Seven of Cups. And the reason why it was so overwhelming or confusing is because I really didn't see it for what it was. Now the Sun is here, and so you saw this person as a bright spot. That's Leo energy, passionate, sexy, beautiful, handsome. You saw all of those things, but what you didn't see, even though the Sun was here, is that there was no possibility for growth. Because when the Sun is here, for me, it's, you can see everything. You can see all the facts, but you ignore the red flags because you like carnivals, right? So the Sun being in the reverse tells me, yeah, it was an opportunity for passion, happiness, all that kind of stuff, the whirlwind stuff, but it was confusing when they left. Why? Because the Sun is in the reverse and there was no opportunity for growth. So the Page of Swords is here to say these were all lessons, is what it was. And I don't think that you're confused anymore, because now you see it for what it is. The Seven of Cups being here is that you always had a lot of opportunities or options, but they were all opportunities and options for lessons, and not necessarily for, the Sun being in the reverse tells me that these relationships weren't supposed to be forever. They weren't supposed to grow into the future. They were just here basically for a lesson. I think you get this beautiful perspective. You start to realize, yeah, it was necessary that I was sacrificed at that time, or that I did a lot of sacrificing at that time. And I feel like whatever was cloudy, or whatever you didn't understand, or whatever was overwhelming and emotional, and maybe some hot meltdowns, it feels like now you're seeing it with a perspective. We've got a pair of glasses and we have a mirror here. It feels like you're seeing it now with a clearer perspective as you look at yourself and say, oh, all right, that's what that was. I needed to learn all of those things in order to become emotionally available, emotionally aware, in order to learn how to control my emotions, and in order to not jump into things in passion. It feels like this Hangman energy is like an aha moment up against the sun, where you start to realize why you couldn't grow forever with this person or people. But I think that it's made you all to this place, brought you all to this place of the Empress energy, where now you've flipped it into this place where you have no need, and so now you have wants. And when you walk into the room, instead of needing to impress people, you walk into the room saying, do I even want to be here with these people? Like, it's a totally different energy that you carry now. Tell me what the outcome is for Sagittarius. We've got the Knight of Cups. Ooh, the Queen of Swords is here. Yep, there it is. So you now are very planned. You're very careful. You are planning things rather than doing things in fire. You may have been the Queen of Wands, but you weren't the Empress. But now that you're the Empress, the Two of Wands now is looking at like a place of pause. It's a place where I can plan what I'm going to do next, because the Queen of Swords is also here. That's intellect. That's thinking about it first, really looking at it with the truth. I'm seeing things for what they are because the sun is here. And the Knight of Cups being here is, I'm now seeing relationships for what they are. You're not good for me. You're beautiful, but you're not good for me. You're handsome? That's a thirst trap. Like, you're seeing things for what they are now, because the clarity and the honesty and the truth is liberated you. And maybe, yes, the Empress, I'm telling you, once you get to the Empress energy, you're probably going to be single for a while. And not because you want to be, but because you're so careful about what you see and the truth of what you see in terms of relationships, that it's going to take you forever to find the person that you want, or for that person to find you. But look at this. We've got the Emperor and the Empress. So I feel like there is some sort of a spark that is going to be showing up as soon as you close the old chapter and you decide that it doesn't matter who shows up from the past. I don't give a damn. You don't get access to the Empress energy anymore. I feel like when you finally slam the door closed, the chapter is done and you'll never go back there. That's when your king shows up. That's when your King of Kings shows up, your Emperor. So I feel like there's going to be an immediate attraction, immediate flames or fire. And you're going to know that this is not a love bomber, because this person's going to go slow. In fact, painfully slow. And it's going to irritate you because you're the Queen of Wands, feminine or masculine. It's going to irritate you that this person is making you move so slow. But this is how adults date. They don't get in each other's back pocket and have the morning and night text and have to follow each other around 24/7 and be in each other's homes and all the time. It's, you have your life, I have my life, and then we come together and we talk about our achievements and we move to each other slowly in a balanced and controlled way. Bottom of the deck, yeah, we've got the World card. So Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo could be significant to you, or this is telling me that it took you a really long time to get to the place where you could stand to be with yourself, by yourself, and stand strong and wait for the right thing. So Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo are all fixed signs, very slow moving. We've got the Emperor, who is Aries. We've got Pisces energy. We've got Leo. We've got Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. Libra and Taurus. Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, more Gemini. Yeah, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, Cancer energy here. Oh, somebody's leveled up. Look at you. All right. Let's talk about Capricorn. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Capricorn, please. Tell me about Capricorn in the next 7 days, please. Tell me about Capricorn in the next 7 days. Well, Caps, there we go. 2 of Cups. Tell me about this. Got the 3 of Cups. So if you haven't already met somebody here, you're about to meet somebody, and you're going to meet them in a social situation. It's a time of celebration. So wherever you are, at a dinner, a wedding, wherever it is, I feel like there's somebody here that you are very close to or very bonded to. We've got the 9 of Swords and the 8 of Cups. Got the Strength card here. So it feels to me that there is some sort of an emotional bond or feelings that are mutual. with someone who I feel might be in your social circle or in your soul tribe. And it feels like maybe you're worried about that a little bit, because this person is acting a little bit detached with you. You're not really sure if this is what you want to settle for. We've got 8 and 2, which is 10. You see it as 10 of Cups, but the worry for you is this just the same cycle? Am I just going to get into something and it's not going to work out for me? I feel like you already know this person, and that's part of the worry. I feel that that's part of the reason why either you're holding back or they are, or maybe it's mutual because the 2 of Cups is here. It could be that we would have to cross a line from friendship into lovers, and that can be a scary place. I've got the Empress here. That can be a scary place, right? Because if we cross the line from friends to lovers, then there's a possibility that we lose the friendship and everything else, that it's not going to work, right? We've got the 7 of Pentacles. I feel like you've worked really hard to be in this place with this person, but you're also apprehensive or holding back or reassessing the situation. We've got the Hierophant. Is this the person that I want to be in a committed connection with? The 5 of Swords is here. I feel like you're having a really hard time making a decision. It really does feel, Capricorn, that there is somebody that I feel that you want to approach or want to offer some sort of solid growth. Can we move slowly towards something that might grow solid? It feels like you already have a connection with this person, and it does feel like it is a social group or a soul group. And so I feel like you want to try something new or get more interested in this person, but is it just going to end up a crash and burn? And you know that there's a lot to lose if this thing doesn't work out. But because we already have some sort of a solid structure. We already have a traditional friendship or a traditional bond. And I don't know if I'm willing to give that up. It's like somebody's wanting to cross the line, but doesn't know, is it like, do we have enough in common? The fundamental differences are here. It feels like you want to fight for it because, Capricorn, that's what you do. You want to fight for it, but you're not really sure if it's going to work out the way you want it to. We've got the High Priestess, we've got the Magician, and we've got the Page of Wands. So the High Priestess, it tells me that you are listening to the intuition, but that you're keeping it all very quiet. You know that you are a person who has options. You know that you have worth. I feel like you are somebody who has a lot of options, a lot of roadways. Like, it feels like this isn't the only person, is what I'm saying. This isn't the only person, but I feel like this is the person that you're most drawn to. This is a person that you really, when you share hugs, they're long hugs. It feels like this person really feels like you really feel them when you touch them, when you hug them. And it feels like a spiritual connection. I feel like you're wondering, can this grow? Is this just infatuation? Am I just excited because they're attractive? The Page of Wands is like, can this grow into anything? The Six of Wands, you know what that is? It's your trauma talking. Because the Six of Wands is about coming from a hard place, right? Coming from the war, coming from the fight. And I think that you are looking for someone to take the victory lap with, but I feel like it is, I think that you do want some sort of victory or success here, but it is scary. I think your walls are up. 6 and 1 wand with the Page is 7. So you're wondering, is this just infatuation? Am I just really attracted to them? 6 of Wands. Do I just love the attention they give me? It feels like you're trying to figure out whether or not this is going to be viable or feasible. Because what I don't want to do is end up crossing over into some sort of love relationship and then be regretful. 5 cups are here. Very interesting. So tell me, what is the outcome, please, for Capricorn? We've got the 6 of Pentacles. We've got the 9 of Wands, Temperance. It feels like I just can't do this one more time. I want to give this person reciprocal energy, but I'm kind of burnt out. It feels like I don't want to be hurt one more time. Temperance is here. I think you're waiting for the universe to bail you out. I think that's a good idea. It's always good to wait, listen, wait for the balance. Is this person going to give you, are they giving you what you're giving them? Is this truly a bond that is even, that is balanced? The Six of Pentacles is, are you really mirroring each other? Are they giving you as much as you're giving them, or are they giving more to somebody else? And that's really a good thing to look for. But I feel like right now, it's like a worry that I've got so much on my plate or so much to do that I'm kind of burnt out. I'm waiting for balance, or I'm waiting for an answer from the universe to see if this is the thing that I'm supposed to do. You're apprehensive, but I think that your intuition is telling you yes, because the Magician is here. But also, maybe this is just infatuation. Maybe this is just fire and attraction. And I think that you know that because you're Capricorn, you know that things that start in fire burn out, because I think you've been through that before. Tell me what the outcome is, or what's around the corner. We've got the Five of Wands, we've got the Four of Swords, and the Six of Swords. So I feel like you need to get out of your head. This is the problem. So 6 and the 4 is 10. 10 swords, you've been betrayed, you've been hurt, you've been lied to. Five of Wands is where you're at right now. Indecision, battling yourself, battling the mind. I'm not really sure what I am supposed to be doing from here, but I do know that I'm in a chaotic place in the mind. I feel like if you're in this chaotic place in the mind, that's why Temperance has not yet shown up for you, but I feel like you will feel some sort of a balance, stable emotional balance that is coming up probably in the next 7 days for some of you, and you will make your decision. But I feel like you've been fighting yourself because you're not ready. Look, give yourself some room and some space to be ready. I don't think that you're ready at this time, because the Five of Wands is telling me you're apprehensive, or that you're holding back, and that you're fighting your thought patterns. And your thought pattern is betrayal, betrayal, betrayal. But that's a chaotic place to be. When you move from the chaos to the calm, Six of Swords tells me when you finally move away from that energy, that's when it's time. But I think you still have some healing to do, Caps. We've got the Seven of Wands. Yeah, I think you're far too defensive at this time to get into anything right now. And it doesn't mean it can't be in the future, but I feel like right now you're unaware or wary of it because of old programming, because of what's happened in the past. And that just tells me that that's just really healing. I feel like you have a romantic connection to this person, but you're sort of feeling sort of a little bit of disillusion when it comes to romantic things or things that are emotional. The Five of Pentacles is here, feeling in lack, right? So until which time you're able to get yourself out of this Eight of Swords, until which time you're able to be truthful and honest with yourself and get yourself out of this pattern of overthinking and reassess the situation and get clear about it, I feel like you should probably hold back, because I feel like it's your programming that will crash and burn it, and not necessarily the situation itself. But if this person is your friend already, you don't want to wreck that. You got to wait until you're really healed, that you're ready to release all of the energy of indecision before you can move forward here. We've got Leo, we've got Gemini, Pisces, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, lots of air signs here. We've got Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. Yeah, there you go. Tell me about Aquarius. Tell me about Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter, the next 7 days. For Aquarius, the next 7 days. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Aquarius. Aquarius, what are you evaluating here? It feels like you're reassessing something. Something in your pentacle world. It could be money, it could be your job. Feels like you're wondering, is it time to harvest here? We've got the Chariot energy. I feel like you're getting your finances in balance. It also feels like you're really disciplining yourself as it pertains to money or pentacle world things. House, home, bills, car, trips. Like, it feels like it is financial or material related, but it does feel like you're finding the discipline to balance something. Got the Eight of Wands, so you can move forward. Where are you moving forward to here? The Strength card. Okay, so you can find the courage to take a leap of faith or to move forward to something that I feel has your passion stirred, is what it feels like here. We've got the Page of Pentacles. It's like you're about to give a little bit more time, effort, or energy to something that really has your passion stirred. I feel like you're attracted to something or someone. It does feel here like there is some things that you've got to get in order first. I feel like you are doing that already, and it feels like it is going to bring you to a place of stability, balance, but it feels like you're ready to move forward, like take a burst of energy and move forward. But that, in my experience, that sort of Aquarius energy, it's like baby steps, baby steps, baby steps, and then boom, you take a leap. And so that's what that feels like right now. It feels like you've been holding back your energy, holding back your time, like you've been really in this energy of discipline and getting things in balance. I've got to discipline myself, discipline my emotional self, possibly, because Chariot is Cancer energy. It feels like I've got to discipline myself in terms of money. I've got to reassess the situation before I decide to go forward and give an offer of passion, or go forward and put a little bit of time, energy, and effort into something I'm really passionate about. So it feels like this is a week of maybe collecting yourself, holding back. The Strength card is telling me I'm looking into the distance and I'm sizing something up from a distance, like I'm observing something and just holding my energy back. But when I'm ready to go, it's going to be go time. Tell me what you're assessing or reassessing here. You're ready to put the hard work into something here. The Nine of Wands is in the reverse. The Five of Pentacles. So you've had a time out. I feel like you've had a time out, or you've put yourself in time out just a little bit to get things together, or to recalibrate your energy. It feels like you were headed to a point of burnout, that you were almost ready to burn out here. But it feels like the Five of Pentacles is I disconnected. I stopped talking to people. I stopped answering my phone. I just say to whoever's running my business, look, you need to take my calls for a week, or just cancel all my appointments. It feels like you are in this contemplative sort of reassessment energy of I've been working too hard, and you were ready to reach a point of burnout here. We've got the High Priestess, so you go into hiding. It feels like you just stop talking. It sort of feels like you just decide you're just going to stop talking. Stop giving people your energy. You're going to listen to your intuition. And I think your intuition was telling you it's time to back off and disconnect. And I think that's what you did, because you were approaching burnout. So I feel like after having rested, after being disconnected and silent and not talking to people, I think you're in one of those energies where you're ready to burst again. You're ready to pull all of your energy and push it out to the front here, in a very creative or exciting or courageous way. We have the Two of Wands, we have the Five of Cups, and we have the Page of Swords. So the Two of Wands, right? Making a decision and making a plan. And I think that that's what the Seven of Pentacles is for, that you're reassessing a situation and making a plan about what to do next. I feel like you, at this time, as you move into the future, you are feeling some regrets possibly, or some sadness, or some emotional upset. And I think it's because of lessons learned, to be honest, because the Page of Swords is here, and I was saying that you were looking at things in the distance and observing them. And so I feel like you are looking at things, observing them in the distance, but I think that you've learned a lesson here. And the lesson is that I got to be better prepared. I got to stop jumping in and fire. I got to stop making these big forward movements without preparing first. And so I think that the Seven of Pentacles and the Two of Wands is telling me, yes, I want the adventure. Yes, I want to take a leap off the edge, but I've got to be far more prepared than I was in the past, or I'm going to experience the same thing. You're learning your pattern. I love that. You're seeing the pattern of, when I leap too quickly and I'm not prepared, I get burnt. When I leap too quickly and I'm not prepared, I get taken advantage of. It feels like the Page of Swords energy is the student, and now you have changed your mind. There's a bunch of butterflies around this page, and it feels like you've changed your energy, or changed your mind, or you've learnt a lesson about preparation, and that you've got to do a lot more observing in order to not feel regret later on. You've got to do a lot more observance rather than just jumping in and hoping it's going to work out. We got the 10 of Wands, because then you end up in burnout. And I think we're back to here, right? You end up in burnout. You end up carrying around everybody else's stuff, whether it's their debt, their emotions. It's like you end up taking on all of their energy and you end up burning out. So I feel like you've learned a lesson about the 10 of Wands, about how not to carry around everyone else's burdens and how to be more prepared so you're not in regret or sadness about once the smoke clears or the fog clears, and then all of a sudden you're standing there with the 10 wands. So I feel like for this week that you are going through an assessment period, and I feel like you are going to hit this energy of pushing forward once you get everything in order here, once you discipline the money, once you discipline your energy, once you discipline your emotions. It feels like you're going to be ready to step forward into something else here. What is this? We've got the 6 of Pentacles, we've got the Ace of Wands, and the 2 of Cups. I feel like you are ready to mirror someone's energy or give them as much as they're giving you in terms of time, effort, energy, and passion. I feel like the 2 of Cups here tells me that you do have a bond with somebody that you've been holding back on, but that this 9 Wands here, 9 Wands is in the reverse, 9 Wands here, you're now aware that you could become burnt out really quickly because you're quite... I feel like you run on intuition, and it's easy to become spiritually burnt out. And so I think that's the place that you've realized you can't end up again. So I feel like you do have a bond with somebody here, that's somebody that you're attracted to, and you're ready to open up a new cycle. But first, you're in this contemplative energy of, are you mirroring my energy? Are you giving me as much as I'm giving you? Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the 6 of Cups in the reverse. We've got the Page of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. Oh, I like that, because you know what? Now what you're doing is you're giving it a little bit at a time. So the Page of Pentacles is just a little bit of time, energy, or effort, or an offer. Because of the 6 of Cups, you are not ever going to forget where you came from, or what put you in the situations that you had to repair yourself from, or that almost burnt you out. So I feel like the Page of Pentacles is telling me a little bit of time, effort, and energy that will finally take me slowly as I plant Pentacles to the 10 of Cups. And I'm open to the 10 of Cups, falling in love, being happy, emotional happiness with somebody, but I'm never going to forget what happened in the past. And I think that's important, because you always should forgive, but forgetting can get you in a bad place. I say forgive and tattoo it on the inside of your eyeballs, Aquarius. Don't let it happen again. Notice your patterns. All right. Because it's not so much that they put you through it. It's that you didn't recognize your patterns, that you kept doing the same thing over and over again. I feel like you finally notice your pattern. That yes, the 10 of Cups is there, but I'm going to be slow and careful. I'm not giving everything all at once. Tell me what's around the corner for Aquarius. Death card. I like it. Transformation of your energy. Look at that. Yes, good, good, good. Moving slow, taking all of the energy back, being very strategic in how I move, moving really slowly because I really don't know the outcome. I think sometimes we end up falling in love with potential of other people. And so I feel like whether you're the feminine or the masculine, something within you has changed. That now you're in better balance. And even though you've still got a lot going on, I feel like you're in better balance. And even though you don't know what the outcome is, you can trust yourself in this Emperor energy, which is stability, security. I'm moving slow. I'm going to make sure that because I have a lot to lose, I'm going to make sure that there's, that person that is showing up is going to match my energy. And the only person that can match the energy of the Emperor is the Empress. So you're being very careful, very strategic. You're just going to watch somebody, take it in, Virgo energy, become the subject matter expert. And until which time you've decided what you want to do, you're going to sort of remain shut off, shut down. And, I feel like you're looking at things a little more analytically now. You're looking at things a little more head over heart rather than with passion, like jumping in because whatever it is looks like a delicious lollipop or ice cream. We've got Cancer, Aries, Aquarius. We've got Cancer and Pisces. We've got more Pisces energy. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We've got Scorpio here. We've got Leo. More Scorpio. Yeah, more Earth energy. All right, Pisces, here we go. Tell me about Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter, my water family. Tell me about my two fishes friends. Tell me what's coming up in the next 7 days. For Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Pisces. What's coming up for Pisces in the next 7 days? We've got the Knight of Pentacles. Why is that? Oh, something that has been moving slow. You're about to get the victory on something here, Pisces. We've got the Four of Swords, and we've got the Hierophant. Bottom of the deck, we have the Star. Pisces, there's something here that has been moving incredibly slow. It feels like there is someone here who you've been slowly building a solid structure with, and it's been moving slowly. And I feel like this in the next 7 days is the time when you're about to see the victory. It feels like things have been moving really slow, and maybe someone has been sort of silent with you, but then you talk to them a little bit and then they're silent with you. It feels like somebody here is trying to make a decision about the balance or the stability of the connection that you've gotten involved with, or maybe this could be a work thing. Look, we have the Hierophant, we have the Knight, right, of Pentacles, and the Hierophant can be corporation, it can be institution, right? It can be solid structure. I've built this very carefully, brick by brick, moved really slowly. It feels like there is somebody who's being very careful with you, and it's because this person sees you as the potential for something long-term or steady. It's not because they don't have interest. And this could be a workplace thing. This could be a romantic thing. I don't see any cups here, but it feels like somebody does want to have the victory, but they've also come from a place where it was really tough, because the Six of Wands is coming back from the fight or the war. So they've come out of a really hard cycle, and that's why they're being careful. That's why they're moving slow. That's why you don't hear from them all the time. It feels like the Four of Swords is they're trying to gauge the stability of the connection. They want to make sure that you're in a healed place, because I feel like this is somebody who is the wounded warrior. They're approaching very closely, they're approaching very carefully, not closely, but carefully, because they're in the Nine of Wands energy. It feels like they're still trying to heal some trauma from the past. It could have to do with anything. It could be childhood stuff. It could be relationship things. It could be maybe they were fired and they've got a new job, but it feels like things here are moving incredibly slow. So if you're waiting on a job, waiting for a job to get back to you, waiting for someone to sign a contract, it feels like there's a reason that things are moving slowly and not quickly. You will have the victory because the Six of Wands is here, but you will also have to wait for it. And if you're willing, I feel like things are building the way they're supposed to. It feels like somebody here is reassessing or recalibrating or making sure that they're making the right steps towards some sort of commitment. So maybe towards hiring you or towards dating you. But it feels like somebody is not looking for, if it's relationship related, they're not looking for, I think I said this too, maybe I said it to somebody else, but they're not looking for one, they're looking for the last one. So it feels like that's why they're being so careful here. We've got the Four of Wands, we've got the Four of Pentacles, and the Sun. So you see them as holding back. And I think that when the Sun comes out, you're going to see that they're not necessarily holding back. What they're doing is protecting the heart space, and they're trying to get stability. Fours are about being stable. They want to make sure that they're stable financially. They want to make sure that their energy is stable. They want to make sure that this is going to be a good experience for you and for them. They want celebration. They want passion. They want stability. They want to meet their soulmate. They're just not giving their energy to everybody. The Sun is here, and it tells me like they see you as this, and that's why they're being careful, or they're slowing themselves down. You'll know when you meet the right one, because that one is going to be slow as bloody molasses in January. It's going to freeze up solid. It's going to be so slow and painful that it'll make you crazy, but the truth of the matter is that the sun is out. I feel like you come to a place in the next 7 days, you're like, oh, that's what's going on. So they're not disconnecting from me. Like we got 5 pentacles. They're not disconnecting from me, but it feels that way because they're moving so slow. But I think that they're moving slow because the 4 of Swords is here. It feels like this person here is trying to find the nerve to speak to you, say something to you here because they're holding the Ace, but the 3 of Swords is in the bed. This person has been heartbroken. And I feel like they're trying to find the courage to not only speak with you about how they feel, but also to speak about their old commitments. This person is slow. They could have look, if they got a Taurus moon, you could be waiting until the cows come home, but they could be a Taurus. They could be a Leo. These are both fixed signs that move very, very slow. But of course, Virgo is here, and that's very analytical. And that's like, I'm going to take it as slow as I need to, and I don't care when we get to the outcome. It's just going to have to be slow. And I think that they're going slow because they've been hurt before. So you might be experiencing times that are quiet with them. And what they're doing is quietly contemplating, reassessing is what they're doing. They're watching you from a distance here. They are looking for someone who is the Empress. And who is the Empress, right? Someone who is Libra and Taurus. Yes, you don't have to be a Libra or a Taurus to be the Empress. But the energy of the Empress is very well-rounded, has a lot of wisdom. Somebody who is moving slow as well. Somebody who doesn't need anybody. It would be nice for you to want somebody and to have somebody, but this person doesn't want to be needed. They don't want to have to be somebody's happiness. And so they want to be happy with somebody. But if you understand, the Empress is somebody who has, high standards, high boundaries, high vibration. And this person is waiting for the right one to show up, is not texting that person, hoping they come back from the past. This is somebody who is on their own, focused on themselves, doing their thing, updating their look, taking care of their home. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they're doing it in silence. And I think that this person is noticing that about you. I think they're noticing that you're self-sufficient and you don't need them, because this person doesn't want to be entering into a connection where they are the cause of someone's happiness. Because that means whenever they're out of your viewpoint, then you're not going to be happy. And they don't want to have to be the happiness. They want you to be happy without them, if that makes sense. We've got the 10 of Cups. They want you to be happy without them. So I feel that they do see that about you. If you are the Empress, and the Empress, you don't just get to be the Empress. Like I said, if you're a Libra or a Taurus, the Empress is an energy, and it's an energy of wisdom. So it's really super unlikely that you're in your 20s and you're the Empress. But if you're in your mid to late 30s, maybe mid 40s, you're likely have more wisdom. It's all about knowledge and living of life. So I'm not trying to be ageist with you. I'm just saying that when you're 20, you don't have the knowledge that somebody in their mid 40s has. You just don't. And so you can be the Empress, and not just because you look good, because the Empress isn't just looking good on the outside. The reason the Empress looks good on the outside is because the Empress has wisdom on the inside. The wisdom to know better. So I feel like you are happy. I feel like you're looking into the future for somebody who is going to fit you. I feel like you have a 10 of Cups minimum is what it is. It's got to be all or nothing. And I think that you're just minding your business, doing your thing, growing, nourishing yourself, nourishing your spirit, being quiet. I think that's what you're doing. Doing your thing, and somebody's observing you doing that. We've got the 6 of Cups. So I think that's what you're doing. You're waiting till someone makes you feel a certain type of way. That they make you feel like you've known them forever, or they feel like they touch your spirit before they touch your body. You are looking for someone who is going to feel a certain way and make you feel like they sort of fan the flames of your 10 of Cups. Tell me what the outcome is, please. We've got the Knight of Wands in the reverse. We've got the Ace of Cups and the King of Swords. So I think, Pisces, what you're looking for somebody who returns the energy that you give them, for someone who is a go-getter, someone who has the skills and the resources to be on their own, to make magic in their life. You want a magical love. You're not just looking for any type of love. You're looking for one with a stable foundation. This is friendship first, and that's the way we grow, and then we can grow love on top of that foundation. So I feel like you are looking, or waiting, not looking, but waiting for that, And it does feel like this outcome here sort of falls along in line with that, because the Knight of Wands in the reverse is, don't bring me your unstable, passionate, let's jump into it energy. Bring me the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is passive energy. Water is passive, right? So we've got the King of Swords. You're looking for an intellectual connection first. What can you bring me that's going to stimulate my mind first? Tell me the truth. Tell me the honesty. Tell me who you are. I want to know who you are and give it to me straight. I feel like you want someone to speak about, you want to know that they are strong, strong of the mind, whoever they are, feminine or masculine. You want to know that they're intellectually strong, smart, factual, but you also want them to be able to speak with kindness, the Ace of Cups. You don't want somebody who's just going to be in it for the fire, because the Knight of Wands is in the reverse. You want to go slow. You want to go stable. And that's what you're looking for. But I also think that that's what this person is looking for. They could be a Pisces. They might be a Libra or a Taurus or maybe a Leo. But it does feel like there is like maybe Taurus energy or Virgo or Capricorn mixed with sort of some fire in the rising is what it feels like. So they are passionate still, but they are somebody who's moving slowly. What's around the corner for Pisces? We've got the Four of Cups, we've got the Three of Wands, and the Hanged Man. Again, the Two of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So it does feel like you want this person to be someone who is not in your back pocket all the time. The Hanged Man is perspective, a pause, and it's also sacrifice. You want this person to be able to expand with you, but in a place where they can leave you alone when you need them to leave you alone. It feels like you need time to yourself, or you're a person who really loves time to yourself. And so you're trying to get a perspective on really what is the expansion? What do I want in the future? And I think what you want ultimately in the future is you want stability of your emotions. You don't want somebody who's going to jump in and fire and all the frickin' drama and baby mama and daddy mama and baby daddy and all that bullshit. I think that regardless of what their status is, whether they've been married or divorced or have children, if this person does not give you the comfort of the stability of emotions, then you're not into it. I'll sacrifice that in a damn second. That's what it feels like. So the Three of Wands being here tells me I'm open to it and I'm looking into the future. But the sun is here. I can see it all. So, you know, the Empress is being very picky, and the Empress doesn't really care how long it takes because the Knight of Pentacles is here. I'm just going to find who I'm going to find, and I'm going to be very picky about it. It's got to be someone who feels like they're ready to move slowly, and someone who can love me, take care of me, all of that stuff, but also who's going to leave me alone a little bit at the time so I can have my own time to myself. Four of Cups. We've got the Ace of Swords. I feel like you are going to meet somebody here who's going to be, I think, holding back. They're going to be second guessing themselves and holding back. You're not going to know right away that they have like emotional feelings for you here, because the King of Cups is always steady in the storm. So this is a stoic one, right? The one who's not really going to show it to you on the surface. You're going to interpret it as this, that they can't make a decision, that they can't move forward, that they're stuck in their head. I feel like you're going to see it as this, but it's not. It's actually this. They've got a lot of love to give. They've got a lot of deep emotion, and they're waiting for a moment of transformation where they feel like you're not going to leave them holding the bag. And so they need this moment of transformation, or they need this moment of getting out of this hesitating, holding back energy first, and feel confident enough to come forward, because what they don't want is the Five of Pentacles. They don't want that to happen again. So this person might be in hermit mode right now, and I think that what comes next is a very big burst of energy. The Eight of Wands is here. Okay, so we've got the Seven of Cups, but this person is sort of in some contemplative energy, right? They've got the Two of Cups looking up at the Five. Am I going to regret this? I'm not really sure. So at this time, what they're doing is the Chariot energy, trying to discipline their emotions and get stable before they come forward. So I feel like you're seeing it as they don't want you, but I don't think that that's what's going on. I think that it's quiet for a reason. We've got Pisces energy here. We've got Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, Leo, Libra, and Taurus. We've got Virgo energy here, more Taurus, more Leo. Scorpio energy here, Pisces, Cancer. Virgo energy, more Leo, Scorpio, Capricorn, Gemini. All right, I'm going to leave that right there. Thank you so much for being here and watching. I do appreciate you. I will be back because I'm always back. And welcome to the new week. Thanks for coming here. Love you guys. Bye-bye.